I wanted to ask you, I know you've been engaged with GDN before. It's not the first time that you come in contact with our organization, and you've participated in programs and competitions organized by GDN. And I wanted to ask you about that. How did you first come in contact with GDN and what your experience has been?
I've been in contact with GDN for many years already. I think my first interaction with GDN was in 2006 or 2007.
So
Back then I was affiliated with Kyiv School of Economics, which was a part of the regional network, GDN network, and later it became the coordinator of regional network. So since that time I had an opportunity to participate in regional workshops, GDN grant competition workshops. I served as a regional resource person, being already a professor at the Kyiv School of Economics. I supported many research projects that went through the grant competition. I had a chance to present my own research in Morocco. When was that? I don't remember how many years ago. But overall, that was personally it was a great experience throughout so many years, and it is very good to be back again to the conference. And as before, it is very refreshing, it is very inspiring, it's very informative.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And you're not alone. You're the only one from Ukraine here this time, but you're not the only researcher from Ukraine and from that part of the world that we can claim to have been influencing and be proud to have associated with our network, both regionally and globally. So please do tell us a little bit about KSC's and EERC's impact in the region. And by impact, I don't just mean direct numbers, but the broader impact.
Right. Well, I guess even with your introduction, you are understating how much impact the ERC grant competition and GDN regional network was over 20 years of our collaboration. It was mentioned already by several other people from the region that pretty much because of ERC grant competition and GDN regional network, pretty much all major think tanks in the region have economists, experts, one or another way associated with GDN network. GDN was very much instrumental in developing capacity in the region. So we had statements like that from Russia, but for Ukraine I think the direct and indirect impact is even larger. Besides having experts for the think tanks, because of the grant competition, because close collaboration with the Kyiv School of Economics, GDN has supported development of infrastructure for research. Because of these many research projects that went through the grant competition, we were able to establish the knowledge base for the region, which by the time when it was demanded, it was there. When in 2014 the major economic reforms started in the country, we had knowledge, we had data infrastructure, we had people who were trained, who had experience, who were ready to jump in and start working. And also by collaboration with Kyiv School of Economics, GDN network and GDN financial support helped to sustain the educational program through which many more people went through, and they were trained by experts working with GDN. The experts that came for the grant competition from abroad helped to develop local capacity among KC faculty, who again trained people who went to business, who went to think tank, who went to government to do the reform in the country. So I think the impact of GDN investment was way beyond this about 500 grants that were issued during these 20 years of collaboration. It means for the region much more.
Working on a very interesting project, and you came to present it here and get feedback on it. So do you want to just briefly share with us about that as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting experience by itself, because during this conference we have a very relevant audience of policymakers, of researchers, of representatives of different NGOs, and it is a great opportunity to first present the results of my research. I work in the field of tenure security, land and real estate markets, which has issues in many countries. So I was able to first present the results of what we have found in our study in terms of how important is protection of rights, how important is prevention of eviction, how important is formal registration, and so on. But also to hear back from participants with background from all these different countries, how relevant are these results to them. So I think this communication both improves the understanding of the issue among the participants, but also helps me to better communicate the results and find some things that I haven't thought about it before.
Excellent. So we hope that you continue, and we hope that we will cross paths again in the
I
near
hope so.
future and
I hope so.
remain engaged in various ways. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.